Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that trailer that I saw of um, the new Birds of Prey, the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, and I want to give my thoughts about it. Um, but the last video was just a reaction, and this is my thought process about this movie. I think this movie is going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a good popcorn flick. This is not going to be something that's going to be a lot of deep rooted story to it. I think it's going to be pretty superficial, and it's just going to be a laugh fest with some popcorn shoved in your mouth, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that that's where this movie needs to be. This should not be a very deep rooted movie. I think that how they're constructing Harley is the right way to do it. Get her out of Joker, build her up, and possibly get her with Poison Ivy. The whole lesbian thing, okay, that's fine because I have nothing wrong with that. I think that they built that up for 15 years that these two are gonna be a very strong couple, and also the fact that Poison Ivy has been alone for a very long time, and having someone like Harley that keeps a level of humanity and a level of fun, and keeps her grounded without devoiding herself back into her plants is a good thing for Pamela, and I think that that helps. Um, Pamela, while Pamela, because she's a very loving person, like a Mother Earth, she's very loving, she's very romantic, she's very intimate, that it actually helps Harley have a very, very stable and very healthy relationship. The only thing about Poison Ivy is you gotta do her as she's very conflicted, and but Harley should be right in it to win it, and that's how I would do their relationship. That she's in it, she wants to do it. You can have her a little bit, I would say a little bit defensive because she was with the Joker for so long. But when it comes to Pamela, Pamela's very iffy because she doesn't want to become Pamela. She doesn't want to become Poison Ivy. She wants to be Pamela Isley. And I think that if you do it right, then you build Pamela up very, very well. The relationship will feel very natural. It will feel very, very good for men for the obvious reasons, for women for the obvious reasons, and even for people who want to have that diversity when it comes to their sexuality. So I mean, because this is the type of relationship that a lot of us, especially in the comic book community, and even myself, I feel this is one of the better relationships for an anti-hero like Harley and a villain like Pamela Isley or Poison Ivy to have. Now, getting back to the movie. Now, the one thing that I was holding back on in the reaction versus what I'm going to talk about now is one of my biggest hopes is that they do not make this movie a woman power movie. I hope they don't make all the men dumb and they're just going to be basically jaw dropping and slobbering because the women are hot. That to me seems like it's a disgrace. I think that they should have one guy in there that's very stoic, very in your face, and he should be very ruthless to really show that no matter how beautiful these women are, this guy's not gonna. This guy's here to do something. Um, 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 I think that from what I saw in that trailer, I feel that that's what they're doing. They're making every one of the men dumb. They're making them all just slobbering over the women, slobbering over Harley, and for the obvious reason, because Harley's very sexual. Harley is always using her sexuality to her advantage, and okay, that's fine. That's the way they built the character. But I think that they need to have a villain in there that can't be swayed by Harley's sexuality, because Joker can't be swayed by Harley's sexuality. He's too much of an alpha. He won't do it. If you introduce the Penguin or Two Face or the Riddler, they can't be swayed by Harley's sexuality. They look at her like she's a complete ditz. So I think that having Black Mask be that guy that's basically, from what I saw in the trailer, he's looking at Harley. He's looking at Harley as a trophy. And I think that that's the worst thing to do for the character. I think that will demean his character and it make his character look weak. So, and if you don't think that I'm not lying, think about it. If his whole objective in the movie is to go after Harley, and he's just looking at Harley as a trophy, what's gonna happen when he confronts Black Canary, Renee Montoya, and Huntress, and he gets defeated by them? It's gonna look very embarrassing. He's gonna look like a very weak villain. And I don't want that for Black Mask. Black Mask could be a stoic, ruthless villain. He should not be swayed by a woman's gams. He should not be swayed by a woman's TNA. He should be swayed over the fact that she looks at her as a trophy and that's it. He doesn't look at her in a sexual way. He should look at her as, no, you're just a trophy. You're just here to look good on my arm and that's it. And if they write him as he's longing for Harley because she's gorgeous and she's beautiful, and this like, no, you're kind of writing him in the wrong way. Um, um, I hope they don't put a lot of woman power in this. I don't want that. I want this to be a balanced, fair film. I think that if unless the story is that Huntress is on the hunt to try to kill somebody, okay, that's fine. If Black Canary is trying to keep herself hidden because of certain situations, that's fine too. But she's supposed to be a lounge singer. Okay, that happened in the comics before. She was a lounge singer. She actually does have a very beautiful singing voice. Um, um, and Harley is in her mindset, and Renee Montoya is a lesbian. So and I think they should make her a closet lesbian at that fact. For just this movie, she needs to be a closet lesbian, and that would be fine. And if somebody says, "Well, that's wrong," I go, "No, it's not. It makes sense because no one knew that Renee Montoya was a lesbian until just like in the past 10 years. But ever since the creation of the character back in the freaking early 90s, when they created her just for the TV show, for the cartoon, she was straight. She was straight. We all knew she was straight. We thought she was a straight heterosexual, but they introduced that she was a lesbian, and we're like, okay. She was a secondary character anyway, so it really didn't make that much of an impact to the comic book audience because it wasn't like Renee Montoya in Gotham City Police Department. She was a secondary character next to Harvey Bullock. Harvey Bullock had more stay than she did. So I personally don't think that we should be concentrating on that. So if she's a closet lesbian, that's fine, and she finally comes out, and it's like, okay, that's an evolution of her character. Having her become a lesbian, but if she's nowhere with a woman, but you just say that she's a lesbian, it just makes no sense. If you make her whole story, she's a closet lesbian. She didn't want to come out for all these years because she didn't want to be deterred while she was in the police department. She didn't want to be treated differently by the males, and she was already being treated differently by the males because she's a woman, and she had to make herself a rough and tumbled hard boiled cop. That makes sense, and she's a closet lesbian at that. But because of the whole movie and her evolution of her character, if she comes out as gay, it makes more sense, and we're all gonna go, oh, okay, okay, now we could kind of move forward with her character. Same goes for Harley. Harley Harley becoming a bisexual was a shock to all of us. It was a shock to me. It was a shock to everybody else, but it made sense. She was in a toxic relationship with a guy that basically beat her face in every single time. She does like men. It's not like she doesn't. She just goes to men. She looks at Bat. She actually is attracted to Batman. She hides it a little bit, but she's actually attracted to Batman. She's attracted to freaking Nightwing. She's attracted to men. But the thing is that the toxic relationship that Joker put her in, the best relationship for her was literally Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy was a great relationship for her. And we all saw through storylines, it made sense. It slowly evolved their relationship. But forcing it into everyone's face just because it's done in the comics without showing the evolutionary steps that it got to that point and the will they, won't they, and then they finally become that couple, we're all going to go, oh, okay, that seems more natural. It seems like they actually grew the relationship instead of just forcing it and everyone just goes, okay, well, it happened in the comic book, so what, and they move on. No, that's not how it works. That's not truly how it works. So that's what I hope that they do. I hope that they don't force a lot of things. Number 3, the biggest one is, I truly hope without a shadow of a doubt they do not introduce Lady Shiva. If they introduce Lady Shiva in this movie, it's going to be a travesty. It's going to be a travesty. It's going to be very rushed. It's going to be very forced. If they introduce Lady Shiva as a backstory for Cassandra and her dad being David Kane, I will be very happy with that. And then we don't see her ever in the rest of the movie. I'll be perfectly fine with that. And she doesn't even know her mother is Sandra Wusan. She doesn't know her mother is Lady Shiva. She doesn't even know her dad is David Kane. So you can even write that in and say over the course, if she's going to be with the birds of prey, we could see that over time when her father and her mother show up, or her father shows up first, or her mom shows up to come and get her, we're going to have a battle between the birds versus Lady Shiva. That's going to be a phenomenal movie, in my personal opinion, because Lady Shiva is more than enough for one movie. And having her as the main villainess of the whole movie, just trying to get her daughter back and killing the birds of prey and dealing with the fact that they stole her daughter and stole her life away from her mom, and she wants her daughter back so she can finally train her and get her prepared to become the next Lady Shiva, like she was prepared, or however they want to do it. That would be phenomenal. So that to me is, I hope that they don't rush job the Lady Shiva storyline. I hope they don't rush job the Cassandra Cain storyline or the David Kane storyline. I hope that they slowly burn it, because unless, again, if they're not building a universe and they're just building solo movies, then we gotta basically gonna have to deal with a rush job. But if you're building a universe, there is no reason to literally rush job these storylines. Now, number four, um, the biggest one for me is, I I truly do hope that they don't keep Harley in this movie. I hope that Harley moves on. I hope that she moves on to do another movie, and I hope that her character leaves, leaves on a very funny note, basically. So then when you get Birds of Prey, you're not wondering what happened to Harley. This movie is not a Birds of Prey film. This is a Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, but they left it as Birds of Prey: The Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. But this is a Harley movie. This is not a true Birds of Prey movie, because they're secondary in this movie. I'm sorry, they are. And everyone's gonna want to watch this movie for Harley. They're not gonna want to watch this movie for Huntress, or watch this movie for Black Canary. They want to watch it for Harley, and that's why I knew in this trailer they made it more front and center. They made her way more front and center, so we can all go, okay, that makes sense. But those are my points. I like I said, I don't want them to make this movie a girl power movie. I don't want that. You got Batman villains in here. You don't need to make this a girl power movie and pretty much upstage Batman villains. That is the dumbest thing. You're pretty much essing all over Batman's villains. For what reason? I mean, in a Harley movie, if it's a complete Harley movie with no other character, with no other characters, and it's Harley, just Harley going against, let's say, Two Face, or Penguin, or the Riddler, or Firefly, one of Batman's villains, then I can see them kind of doing a more of a jokey thing with it, and they're doing it from her point of view, almost like a Deadpool type of movie, but not so break the third wall, and not so very very comic booky, because that's what Deadpool is. But they keep Harley a little bit more grounded, and they make the story more goofy, but they keep the villain the way the villain is supposed to be. Then you're gonna get a really good movie. My personal opinion. That's how you get a really good movie. But if you completely take Batman's villains, who had a lot of changes over the years, and you take a grounded villain like the Penguin and turn him into almost like a Burgess Meredith version of the 1966 Penguin, and you put him into this movie, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be very very upset, especially after we had Robin Lord Taylor play Penguin for close to 6 years on Gotham, and he was regarded as one of the best on-screen Penguins we had since freaking Danny DeVito. Are you freaking kidding me? And we're gonna go back to Burgess Meredith 1966 Penguin? No, I don't want that. I give us a great, dangerous, gritty, dark villain for a Harley movie. Keep him gritty, keep him dangerous, but you make the story ludicrous, and you can have Penguin be us going, this is ludicrous, what the heck is going on here? And he's blasting her, and she's sitting there going, ha ha ha, flipping and flopping all over the place, throwing freaking pies and destroying his men, and he's going, he goes, what the heck is going on? And we're all sitting there laughing, because he's being the straight guy. He's being like, what the heck is going on? She's worse than Batman. Kill her. And he's running away. That will be, see, I'm already chuckling and laughing, because that makes sense. You can have the same thing for Two-Face. He flips his coin She throws a coin she goes, oh okay, and blows the coin. And he goes, what the heck you do that for? And she goes, well, we're all gonna flip it, right? And he tries to pull his gun out, and then she basically goes, "Uh oh!" And and he starts shooting her, and she's flipping and flopping all over the place, throwing pies and throwing mallets and crap. And you have him just sitting there going, "What the heck is going on?" Man, I can see why the clown hates you so much. And he's just blast. He's using his freaking 44 magnums to blast holes through things, and he's using his. It's like, dude, he's doing everything. He's being the straight guy. If you really want to make a funny Batman villain esque movie, keep the villains as the straight guys. Unless they're constructed to be a silly character, you got to have a straight guy in there that's acting as the other side of the audience. So like you have people in there who are going to laugh for laugh's sake. You got the other ones who are be like, be straight about it. Like, what the heck is going on? You have those other ones who they're gonna live themselves through those people who are just looking at this as, this is ludicrous. This is stupid. And they're going to laugh about it because they understand that, yeah, this is stupid. Oh my God, it's dumb. But they're laughing about it. And it makes sense. You're hitting every point of the audience. And that's what makes comedy gold. Because you're hitting you got certain guys in there who basically who live up the joke, who will be the comic relief on top of the other comedy that's going in the movie. You also have now the straight guy in the movie who's being the straight person. And what I mean by straight person is not by their sexuality. It's basically them. They're not laughing at the jokes. They're being straight about it. Like, why are you laughing about this? This is stupid. But the people who are straight about it, they're gonna laugh because they can also see them saying, "Oh, that is stupid," and they're gonna chuckle about it. They're going to chuckle about it, and there's nothing wrong with it. You're hitting every amount of the points when it comes to true comedy. You can't make a full laugh fest comedy when it comes to Batman villains. People look at Two-Face and Penguin and all these other villains. They're pretty serious villains. Joker is a pretty serious villain. He does laughable things that you kind of chuckle or laugh out about, or you straight up laugh, but he's a straight guy. He makes the jokes. He makes the comedy gold. But that's what makes the relationship between Batman and Joker very good, because Batman's a straight guy. He doesn't laugh. While you have the Joker sitting there laughing and giggling and everything else, and you have to kind of laugh about it because Batman's just staring him down, and you have to laugh about it because it's like it's like Joker trying to make not just Batman laugh, but make the audience laugh. And that's how I feel that they need to do some of these type of movies, because it makes sense. You're not going to have people who are going to you're not going to have everybody in there that's going to come in there and they're going to have a laugh fest. If you make it where there's a straight guy in there who literally is not laughing all the time, but he's calling out that this is stupid, this is ludicrous, and you have him just going, oh my God, and just going, okay, fine. And he's just blowing everything apart, and he's just going nuts. Everybody in the theater is going to start laughing because you're hitting every one of the bullet points. So that's what I feel. This could be a really good movie. It could be a complete S sandwich. It could be a complete S sandwich on a hot day with flies all over it. Okay, it could be very, very bad. I'm hoping for the good. I do want this to be good. I do want Margot Robbie to go down as one of the greatest on-screen Harley Quinns we've ever had. And I want people to try to emulate, or they use her as a base, and that'll be great, because we've had a lot of people try to use Heath Ledger's Joker. Other people try to use Mark Hamill's Joker, or even Jack Nicholson's Joker, and in some occasions even Cesar Romero's Joker. I want somebody to bring in a Penguin that is almost a base off of Danny DeVito's Penguin. I want someone to come in. Oh no, not Tommy Lee Jones version, or just do something like Richard Mall's version from Batman the Animated Series. I would love to see a version like that, and bring in a little bit of the Aaron Eckhart version from The Dark Knight. Just take a base and build off of that, and then I want to see something like that. But I don't want jokey villains in there every single one of these type of movies. You got to have a straight person in there, and I'm feeling like that's what they're gonna do. I think that they're gonna go complete jokey. That Black Mass is gonna be a complete joke. One of the best reasons why General Zod, one of the greatest reasons why Orem, and hell, even Dr. Sivana were great villains. Dr. Sivana fit exactly the mold. He fit exactly what you wanted in a villain. He was sinister enough, he was evil enough, but he also tried to play the straight guy and throw out certain little one-liners and hangers to get you kind of chuckling a little bit. But he played the straight person, and then on top of it, when he threw jokes, you had another person going, "What? What are you talking about? Can't hear you." And you had to chuckle about it because he's being serious. While the other person's sitting there going, "What? What are you talking about?" Like, that makes a lot more sense. I like that. That's why I like Dr. Zavanna in Shazam. That's why I like Zod in freaking Man of Steel. He was phenomenal as Zod. Nobody could beat his Zod. I'm sorry, nobody can beat his Zod for right now. His Zod was phenomenal. It made sense. Um, and hell, even Orm. Patrick Wilson killed it as Orm. I'm sorry. He did a phenomenal job with Orm. Bring him back. Bring him back. I'm glad they didn't kill him. I am so happy they didn't kill him. But I have a feeling he's gonna die. But but that's my video. I'm sorry to go on a little tangent about certain things. But again, I have high hopes for this movie. I just hope it's not an S sandwich on a hot day with flies all over it. I hope that it's actually going to live up to a great levels of hype. I still need a little bit more with these other characters, but Harley's killing it. I'm sorry, Margot Robbie is killing it, and I think Ewan McGregor is going to do a great job too. So you guys have a great one. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below, and hit that bell and let me know what you all think. Okay, you guys have a great one. Bye.